This man accidentally discovers a mysterious space hidden inside his own store. Yellowed wallpaper, faded carpet, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead without end. And in the middle, those stacks of piled up furniture. Every detail feels familiar, but put all that familiarity together, and it becomes completely alien. Today we're looking at the viral psychological horror film, The Backrooms. The story starts with our main character, Clark. He runs a furniture store on the verge of bankruptcy. His drinking and hot temper got him kicked out by his wife. Now he can only rely on his therapist, Mary, to keep his crumbling mental state together. But this furniture store has a strange problem. Clark barely uses any electricity, yet every month the bill is absurdly high. To figure out why, Clark calls in an electrician to check the main panel. He opens the meter box, and inside, the switches are a total mess. There's even one switch mounted at an angle, like the box grew it on its own. The electrician fiddles with it for a long time but can't find a solution. He just tells Clark to figure it out himself. But little do they know, behind that angled switch lies a connection to a vast backrooms world. Late this night, Clark shuts off the main breaker before bed, like he always does. But then something eerie happens. Even though all the power in the room is off, a faintly glowing crack splits open across the wall. Yet when Clark gets close, it suddenly vanishes. As if compelled by something, he reaches out to touch the wall, and his whole body passes through it like jelly, straight to the other side. When he stumbles, falls, and gets back up, he's completely stunned. Before him is an endless yellow space, the middle piled high with random furniture, an alternate dimension that defies the laws of physics. The backrooms appear before Clark for the first time. Driven by curiosity, Clark explores this strange space. Here, the billboards are upside down. There's a caveman cutout that plays audio in multiple languages. In one compartment, he finds a backpack with a stranger's ID badge inside. Following the pipes through the compartment, he reaches another room. Here, shoes and chairs are eerily embedded into the floor. But just as Clark decides to head back the way he came, a loud crash suddenly erupts from the other side of the pipe. Terrified, he scrambles up the slope ahead. After 3 tries, he finally unlocks the little square door. Luckily, the path leads him back to the room he first crossed into. Through the wall, he returns to the furniture store. The sudden experience leaves Clark sitting on a stool, unable to shake it off. Meanwhile, on the other side, a man watches Clark inside the backrooms through a camera. Afterward, Clark tells his therapist, Mary, about the strange space he found. He even shows her diagrams he drew. But Clark already has mental issues, so Mary doesn't believe any of it. To prove he isn't lying, Clark firmly insists he'll come back with proof. Cut to Clark finding his employee, Alan. After explaining, Alan grabs a camera and, with his girlfriend Anna, comes to Clark's store. At first, the two don't believe him. They think it's all a joke, but when they watch Clark walk straight through the wall, they're instantly shocked.
Oh! Fuck, Clark! What the fuck? How did you? Dude, did you just fucking see that? How did he? Right here!
Just like Clark's first reaction, Alan cautiously reaches out to touch it. The absurdity of it leaves him amazed. Then the two of them follow Clark through the wall, looking at this unknown world. Anna is on edge the whole time, hoping to leave as soon as possible, but Alan feels no fear at all. Then Clark leads them into a narrow passage. With the camera strapped on and a rope tied to him, Alan slides down a cramped vertical shaft, like a ventilation duct, into the room below. This place is packed with reeking old clothes and trash, and a creepy severed head doll. Just as Alan goes deeper, a figure suddenly appears ahead.
Pull me up! Pull me up! Pull me up!
Terrified, Alan yanks the rope and screams for help, but after Clark finally hauls him back up, before he can even catch his breath, an unknown force below drags the rope and pulls him right back down. The rope was tied too tight. Before the two can untie it, Alan is dragged straight down.
Oh my God! No! Don't let me go! Don't let me go! Let me get out! No!
And the bed the rope was tied to, pulled by the force, crashes both of them into the room below too. Clark opens his eyes, only to see Alan being dragged into the next room. And on the floor is a pool of blood. The two follow the blood trail forward, but hunted by a mysterious shadow, they panic and get separated in the backrooms. While searching for his teammates, Clark passes several more eerie rooms. One of them is a red room, lit by a Christmas tree in the center. Even stranger, a human body on the ground is embedded right into the floor. When Clark moves ahead, a horrifying scene unfolds.
Stay back! Get away from me!
Clark bolts and runs. He finally reaches a room with a swimming pool. Here, he hears Anna calling to him through a wall. In front of him is a solid wall, but from Anna's side, it's a pane of transparent glass. Suddenly Anna screams in terror. Through the glass, she sees a horrifying creature approaching Clark from behind. Cut to Mary, unable to reach Clark for a long time and worried something happened. She shows up at his door. She pushes it open, and aside from a wooden pirate carving, there's not a soul around. until she reaches the basement room and sees the map on the writing board. Mary instantly connects it to the diagrams Clark showed her before. Following the info on the diagram, she spots a wall marked with blue lines that looks like the entrance. After seeing a fly pass straight through the wall, Mary is just as stunned. Driven by curiosity, she passes through the wall into the backrooms. After some feeling around, her path is blocked by a wall covered in graffiti. And just then, Clark, who vanished so long ago, walks out from the side. But he's different now. His expression is tense. He keeps signaling Mary to stay quiet. Clark slowly comes to her side. The lights ahead flicker eerily once again. Suddenly Clark grabs Mary from behind, choking her neck until she passes out, all the while muttering that it's all for her own good. When Mary wakes again, she finds herself tied to a chair. It turns out that after witnessing the backroom strangeness, Clark wasn't scared at all. Instead, he became completely obsessed with the place. He feels the real world is too painful, and this yellow maze, with no morals and no rules, is his true home. As he talks, Clark introduces the beings the backrooms created. There's a man with a warped face and glasses, an old man with 6 eyes, and a red-haired woman with 2 faces. But it gets stranger than that. Clark picks up a knife and stabs it right into the old man's neck. Yet the old man has no reaction at all, not even a drop of blood. Even more disturbing, the flesh on his body can be torn off like cotton candy. Not only that, it can be eaten as food. The next second, Clark opens the fridge, and a severed head is frozen right inside. The sudden sight throws Mary into a panic, but facing this completely deranged madman, she can only fake her composure. She tries to use psychology to keep him calm, but the Clark before her is no longer the Clark from before. He picks up the knife, peels the wig off the red-haired woman, and forces it onto Mary's head. He demands she play the ex-wife who abandoned him, so he can vent his rage.
I'm just stuck selling shit furniture because someone won't get off her fat fucking ass and help me!
I'm not your wife!
Stay in character! Stay in character!
I've never even met her!
Stay in character!
Fuck you!
At this point, Mary drops the act. She spells out the truth. The reason his wife left him is simple. He himself is a useless man-child. He has no one to blame but himself.
You drink too much? Blame your job. You hate your job? Blame the world. You get kicked out of the house? Blame your wife. You attack me and tie me up? Blame your brain. You are your fucking brain, you dipshit!
For a moment, the air goes silent. Having calmed down, Clark seems to realize his own selfishness, so he comes to Mary's side, unties the ropes, and prepares to let her go. At that critical moment, a giant monster wearing a pirate hat appears at the door. To protect Mary, Clark rushes forward, explaining that he isn't a bad guy, but the monster just scoops him up and viciously tears into him. Realizing something's wrong, Mary quickly frees herself and carefully escapes along the wall. When she reaches the doorway, she finds every exit here has been eerily sealed inside the walls. To survive, Mary starts sprinting through the chaotic space. She passes an eerie room hung with wind chimes. She crawls through a pet door beneath a doorway, but the monster quickly catches up from behind. Looking down at the endless abyss below, Mary carefully hugs the wall and reaches a ladder with no railing. Heart pounding, she passes through the ladder's opening, only to find a room that looks almost identical to the furniture store. The only difference is that the glass door here won't open at all. Outside is a dead end. Before she can recover, the monster catches up again. Now we finally see its true form. It looks exactly like the wooden pirate carving from the store. With nowhere left to retreat, Mary swings a bar and snaps the monster's leg. But the moment she turns to run, she crashes into a sign. Instantly sirens blare. Blue bottles start spraying out gas. Seeing a sudden glow up ahead, Mary realizes it might be the exit and rushes over. But this mysterious gas seems to have a sedative effect, and it knocks her out cold. When she wakes again, the monster's massive face is already right up against hers. At that critical moment, Mary pulls the handprint stone from her pocket and smashes it into the monster's face over and over. Once free, she quickly slips into a crack in the wall beside her. The monster is too big to fit inside and gets stuck outside. Mary follows the narrow passage forward, and just as she thinks she's escaped, a group of people in hazmat suits suddenly appear and knock her out with gas. When Dr. Mary wakes up again, she finds herself lying in a sterile hospital room, out of danger. It turns out the people she met at the end were from Company A. This is the company that created, or rather discovered, the Backrooms. Ever since finding the Backrooms, Company A has kept sending people in to explore. They've collected and stored countless entities brought out from inside, and in the process, they've lost countless people too. Phil once saw Clark in the Backrooms surveillance footage. Later he saw an ad for Clark's furniture store on TV. That's how he started keeping an eye on the store, and that's how Mary was saved. Phil tries to assess whether Mary was psychologically traumatized by her experience in the Backrooms. What he doesn't know is that the Mary before him is nowhere near as fragile as she looks. Mary's mother was born with the capacity to love. It's just that this capacity was a little too powerful. Always suspicious and paranoid, she kept the young Mary tethered to her side. She sealed the doors and windows, cutting the home off from the outside world. This mother's overprotection eventually worsened into a serious mental illness. Mother and daughter were both sent to a psychiatric hospital. As a grown woman, Mary watches the old house that was once her cage get bulldozed flat, but she still rescues one thing from the demolition site: a concrete handprint. This handprint holds the only good memory she has of her childhood and her mother. And this handprint is the very stone Mary smashed into the monster in the Backrooms. The final shot freezes on a room. A strange-looking Mary sits on a stool. The Backrooms is adapted from the globally viral online urban legend of the same name. Its oppressive atmosphere throughout and its striking visuals will surely leave a bold mark in the history of horror cinema. The film plants many hints along the way, like how the Backrooms came to exist, and what the true secret of the Backrooms really is. This is exactly why a lot of people online complain they can't understand it, but I think that's precisely the best part. The more mysterious it is, the more it highlights how uncanny the Backrooms truly are. That's it for today's film. Thanks for watching.